and West Virginia go head-to-head in Morgantown this Saturday night. Huge Big 12 title implications are on the line.
72-yard run.
Coverage begins at 7 Eastern on ABC and on ESPN Radio.
Welcome to another highly questionable Tuesday. That's Bomani Jones. What do you like on the show today, Bo?
Phil Jackson, it is antiquated slang. What else is he going to use from 1989?
Dale, papi.
Could this Giants team actually be good?
No, they won last night by 1 point. They've got 6 victories this year by a combined 21 points. What I did love about last night, though, is on 4th and 2, down 20-14 at the top of the fourth quarter, they went for a touchdown on 4th and goal, and I think very few coaches in the league do anything like that. So if you're looking at the Giants, you're seeing a lot of low-scoring games. You're seeing a lot of close games. They do stuff like that. They've tilted a little bit of the game in their favor with the math by just being less risk-averse than others.
Yeah, but again, this is still a team with a negative point differential. Think about the big bad NFC East for just a second, right? We've got 3 teams that might be good, but none of us actually know. And then one we're pretty sure is good, even though they haven't really beaten anybody, and they've got a quarterback controversy. Have fun making sense of that division from here to the rest of the season.
But the coach has a fun mustache, doesn't he?
Yes, he does.
Yes. Principal McAdoo. I mean, I think it's very interesting, the idea that this guy is a football coach, and it makes perfect sense because at least in my high school, principals often were football coaches.
Keep in mind, this guy is 39 years old, and if I told you right now that he was running a hot tub outlet store, you'd say that's more likely than Giants coach.
Is it possible that the Clippers are actually the best team in the NBA?
By the way, shout out to Chris Paul and this whole era. The fact that we asked this question and don't stop ourselves by saying, wait a minute, they're the Clippers. Now, the Clippers this year have been so good to the point where they have a higher point differential through 11 games than the Warriors had last season through 11 games, even with the Clippers having that one loss. They might be the best team in the NBA, but they're also still the same team they've been. A 4-man team where they got to cross their fingers about anybody they bring off the bench.
You guys can concentrate on the 10 if you like. I'm concentrating on the 1 in 10-1. They lost at home to Oklahoma City on a day where Russell Westbrook was 0 for 7 from 3 and had 10 turnovers, and nobody else on the team scored in double digits. I do not trust this team. I have not trusted this team. And for never trusting this team, I've never been wrong about not trusting this team.
Well, I don't know about the Clippers. I mean, somebody could get hurt. Do you see what happened last night?
Oh, yeah.
Out of bounds, and a go to the Clippers.
Oh, congratulations. Who celebrates that way?
By the L.A. Clippers.
Chris Paul's going a little bit too far in that DeAndre, for real, I love you. I'm so glad you came back to the team mission. I didn't even know that was still going on. And then Chris Paul looked at him like DeAndre Jordan did something wrong. That's why he don't like you.
It's now a good time for the Rams to start Jared Goff.
All right, the coach I used to call 50-50, now I call 7-9. They're more likely to go 7-9 this year. They have finally made the decision to put Case Keenum out of his misery, and Jared Goff, the number 1 overall pick, will now be the starting quarterback for the Rams. Is this good for them? I guess we're going to see. Like, the one thing about this is we don't have any idea how good Jared Goff is or isn't right now. And if up until last week they still thought Case Keenum was a better idea than Jared Goff, how optimistic am I supposed to be about Jared Goff?
This is a true stat about your Rams this season. They have a better record in games where they have not scored a touchdown than in games where they have scored a touchdown. So keep in mind, Case Keenum has been pretty terrible, but as Bomani said, you don't know how terrible Goff is. He's been terrible enough in practice for them not to be starting Jared Goff. What you worry about in these situations is not that he'll look like Case Keenum, which is not scoring touchdowns. It's that he'll be giving the other guys touchdowns by throwing a bunch of interceptions.
Is it a good look for Jerry Jones to be joking about paying Tony Romo record money as a backup QB?
What the hell does Jerry Jones care about good looks? He doesn't care whether you think it's a good look or not. He's got a delightful problem. It's not the Rams' problem of Keenum and Goff. It's he's deciding between 2 very good quarterbacks, and so he's just making a joke because he's intoxicated by all of the winning they've been doing. That doesn't matter what kind of jokes he's making. He's got 2 quarterbacks.
But here's the thing about that if you got 2 quarterbacks, you've got none joke. That also kind of applies when your quarterbacks are good also. So Dak Prescott, if they leave him in, they will ultimately be okay. But unless they win the whole thing, the second guess is going to come no matter what. If Dak Prescott has a rookie quarterback game in the playoffs, people are going to, rightly, ask why you did not go with the veteran quarterback. If Romo comes out there and so much as has a headache, they're going to wonder why you went with that guy knowing he was going to get hurt. Unless they win a Super Bowl, this counts as a no-win for 2016.
It's such a stinky situation for Romo specifically to be in, Bomani, because if he were to parachute out of the sky after not playing for 8 weeks, he probably wouldn't look real good in the first game, as you saw Ben Roethlisberger not look real good in the first game.
Was Phil Jackson wrong to describe LeBron's team as his posse?
He did this in an interview with Jackie McMullen, and LeBron James and Maverick Carter are bothered by this. And LeBron James specifically never bares his teeth this way, where he says he's lost respect for Phil Jackson because of this. LeBron James has been for a long time about player empowerment and about friend empowerment. And the idea that posse is a racially coded word will be something that a lot of people concentrate on here, but I also think that LeBron is upset because he doesn't want his young people, his young guys he has enabled with real power who've done real strong work with him, dismissed by the Phil Jacksons of the world.
One thing about Phil Jackson and posse, though. Phil Jackson's an old man. Old men use slang wrong. And when he was coaching in the NBA, there was always discussion about a posse. It eventually became an entourage. But that's Phil Jackson dipping back into something he didn't understand and getting it wrong. But he is still absolutely dismissing the guys who are around LeBron James. And so if you're LeBron and you've set this blueprint on what to do, how to get your friends in the right jobs that make them self-sufficient to the point where they don't need you, and even after doing all this and making all these millions of dollars and building brand LeBron, Phil Jackson is going to just dismiss them like they're your quote-unquote posse, I'd be mad as hell too.
I'm telling you, LeBron has been doing this and feeling this since he flew Pat Riley across the country for a sham meeting in Las Vegas, and he made sure that his business associates were in that room for a totally fake meeting where LeBron never intended to come back to Miami. LeBron is about he and his people having the power, not the Pat Rileys and not the Phil Jacksons.
Well, that is the last time Phil Jackson will pick up the phone while sitting on the beach, that's all.
Okay, yeah, you should have never answered that phone call from Jackie McMullen while in Saint-Tropez.
Coming up next on Highly Questionable.
You just hear, woo, bah, and the window just shatters. All of a sudden, you see parts of your house collapsing, the roof collapsing, and after a certain amount of time, you look up and you see sunlight. But you're still in the home.
College football lives here. The Big 12 needed chaos on the road to the playoff, and that's what it got.
Take it all the way for a touchdown. Wow!
Now we head to a critical showdown in Morgantown. Huge Big 12 title implications are on the line.
He's gone. Touchdown. Samaje Perine, a 72-yard run.
Coverage begins Saturday at 7 Eastern on ABC and on ESPN Radio.
Joining us at the beach today is Antrell Roll.
Former University of Miami guy, played for the Giants. 3/4 of his secondary in college was drafted in the first round. Let's talk to him a little bit. You lost your home in Hurricane Andrew in Homestead. What do you remember about that night?
Oh, I remember everything about that night. I remember preparing, boarding up the windows, thinking that we're not going to get the eye. And in actuality, we got just that. We got the eye. I remember hearing the whistling while we're all piled up in my mom's bed. And all of a sudden, you just hear, woo, bah! And the window just shatters. And, immediately we run from my mom's room to, which was myself and my brother's room at the time. And I remember the door just slamming behind my mom and, almost pushing her through the hallway, the hallway's wall. And I mean, it was a crazy day. You really didn't know what to expect. Then, all of a sudden you see parts of your house collapsing, the roof collapsing. And one day, after a certain amount of time, you look up and you see sunlight, but you're still in the home. So, I mean, it was a crazy day, crazy situation in its own. But I think that the best thing about Hurricane Andrew was it brought everyone together. And I'm most thankful for that. I don't like the lives that it took. I don't like the homes that it destroyed. But it did bring everyone together because at that point we were equals. At that point, everyone needed to depend on everyone, whether it was for hot dogs, whether it was for help me move this tree, let me get my car, whether it was for gas. You know, the neighbor who didn't talk to you before became the neighbor that you had to look for, you know, for something else. So it brought everyone together.
Well, you know, you were on that 2001 Hurricanes team very young. Was there a moment when you got to campus and looked around and was like, man, I didn't realize these dudes were that good?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I witnessed that, you know, the first time I stepped on the campus, and that's the day I actually made my decision that I would join the University of Miami fraternity. You know, I was always leaning towards Florida. You know, my mom wanted me to go to Florida. You know, I was pretty much sold on Florida, and I went to one practice. And the way those guys moved around, the chemistry they had, the family, just the camaraderie that they had, as well as competing, you know, I was like, man, this is where I'm supposed to be. Like, this is where I fit in. I can see myself playing here. And it seemed like everything was moving in fast motion. But at the same time, you know, like I say, those guys were so phenomenal, and you really don't realize it so much while you're caught up in the moment and while you're in the midst of everything. But when you take a step back and just realize some of the guys that I played with, I played with the best of the best. I played with the best of the best at the collegiate level. I played with the best of the best at the, you know, on the professional level.
You were friends since childhood with Sean Taylor. You've called him the best teammate you ever had. I've talked to various Hurricanes who also say that he is the craziest Hurricane in the history of a crazy program. Can you give us a Sean Taylor story that would illustrate how everybody was a little bit afraid of Sean?
Well, you know, Sean was a different dude. You know, Sean was a different dude. He was a dude, had a big heart. I mean, if Sean could give you the world, he really would. But at the same time, you know, he had this intimidating factor about him, you know, big guy standing at 6'3", you know, 230 pounds with an attitude, you know, with a certain type of edge. Many people never understood where that edge came from, you know, and Sean was just a guy, man, that I remember one time we were in practice, and Sean Taylor and Coach Shannon got into it for some odd reason. I'm not sure what it was. And I remember Coach Shannon put Sean on the second team. Now, we're playing cover 3. Sean is a free safety. He's in the deep middle of the field. By the time the quarterback says hut, he's in the backfield. Totally left his job responsibility. He was going to make a point to Coach Shannon, you don't ever put me on second team. And he hit, I believe it was Jason Gathers. And all you heard was, bam! And his face mask was this way, the chin strap was this way, the mouthpiece came out. Sean, you're supposed to be in the middle of the field. He does not care. He doesn't care. You know, Coach Shannon just laughed, yelled at him, get in the locker room, get in the locker room. And that's all you can say. But at the same token, you know, we call him Loco Taylor. That's Sean. But, you know, he was a guy, and like I tell you, the best teammate I ever had. I've never been in sync with a player as much as I've been in sync with him. You know, it was like we were attached at the hip. And, you know, we never said a word to each other in the field. We just knew what each other were doing. We knew what we were thinking, and we always played the same way.
College football lives here. After a chaotic weekend in college football, Louisville's playoff hopes are alive and well.
Touchdown, Louisville!
Up next, they face a dangerous Houston Cougar team on the road.
47 yards right up the middle. Hello, Heisman Trophy.
Coverage begins Thursday at 7 Eastern on ESPN and on ESPN Radio. Presented by Dr. Pepper.
Time to play the game that is in the middle of having a senior moment. Do you question?
You give us topics and events, and we question.
Do you question what the ruling should be?
The wonderfully contrived World Baseball Classic is coming up. This is like a run-up game to that. Japan and the Netherlands. Japan has this guy, Shohei Ohtani. He's like Aroldis Chapman, except he can hit too. Here he is at the plate. Wow. Oh, he's going to get ground rule doubled?
Yeah, that is a ground rule double, right? When you hit the roof.
Why do they have a stadium dedicated to the Hubert H. Humphrey Metrodome there? That's the only place I thought these things happened.
Wait, the ball didn't come down? It never came down? So what is that, an out?
I mean, I don't know about you. No matter what you rule, I'm running all the way around the base. right? Like, after I have done this, I have won the right. I'm running all the way around the bases. I'm doing it with my fist pump. Yeah, keep on going, buddy. I'm guessing it's a ground rule double. I feel like, though, the ground rule should be changed.
That guy throws 103, by the way.
Do you question if you should always pay up?
The answer generally is yes, right? And the fact that you're asking tells me that the answer is probably hell yes.
In this instance, probably.
I promised these two hooligans, if the Cubs won the World Series, they could rip one of my
this.
teeth out.
Oh, no.
And I'm not a liar. That's not what I'm about. Not now. Not ever. Okay, daytime, baby. Let's get the show on the road. All right, tell me when to go.
All right.
Like, he's too old for that tooth to be loose.
Okay, I'll say something.
Hey, that's not meant to go.
And will it automatically go if it's not loose?
Let's go.
We're going to find out.
In slow motion, no less. Oh,
Wow.
gosh. You need the slow motion so you can see the tooth lost. Once that tooth is lost, that tooth is gone, right?
I mean, how do you explain this to your parents? I mean, I think that's a fair question to ask. You're like, Mom, I need to go to the dentist. Why? I gave up my tooth for the Cubs.
Seems unnecessary.
That might be the dumbest thing we've seen anybody do on this show.
We
Like,
gotta-
normally when people do stuff, it's by accident when it goes bad. Like, he signed up for it and knew it.
Oh, it gets easier as you get older, believe me.
They just come out. They come out.
They just
you
drop
know.
off.
Oh, what was this? Aunt Lulu.
Yes.
Yeah, there she is.
Time to play the game that still has all his own teeth. See? Oh, no.
Tell us what to watch on television today. Maybe this is the day that he's not going to say no.
On CSN Philly, Senators and Flyers.
No, thank you. But let's show you a fight from a previous Flyers game. Who do we have here? We've got an Erickson. We've got a Simmons.
Already this year.
Simmons is on the left.
This one had been talked about before the puck
That's
was
not
dropped.
Erickson
They
with
waited for
two
it to be
C's
dropped.
on the
You
left.
never know.
Simmons and down goes Erickson.
Okay,
Wow.
there we go. That's a big left hand to
Was worried about Erickson
Yo.
in this matchup.
back of the
Simmons
ear.
surprisingly,
Did you have a back?
the back of the head situation. Bomani, are you intrigued?
I am intrigued. At least I'm going to say so. The moral of that story, don't talk about the election at work. You never know how it's going to end.
Poppy, are you intrigued?
Oh, see, I'm very intrigued. But listen, that wasn't a good hockey fight. This is a good hockey fight now. Here we go.
All right, Poppy likes it when the kids
That's
start
right.
fighting.
Here
yes.
we go.
Russia.
Yeah, this is Russia.
Well, I mean, I can't say if it's Russia, but it feels Rushish from what's on the wall.
Okay, I don't know what that writing is, but fair enough.
Wow. They start early.
All right.
I told you.
Yeah, you're
That's
right.
the way I like it.
That's it. That's my father's right. That was a better hockey fight.
That's right. The two benches are empty. You know, they
Right.
go at each other. You know, there's no referees breaking the fight. That's the way you got to have it.
Garden gnomes fighting.
On BN Sports, USA versus Costa Rica.
Costa Rica, Bobby. What does that mean in Spanish? Translate Costa Rica in Spanish. What does that mean?
Rich Coast.
Yes, Rich Coast. Very good. Well done, Poppy. Let's check in with Mexico, USA. See what Mexico did to us.
once again to send this ball in. Everyone but Pulisic back for the U.S.
89th minute. Oh.
Mexico
Oh, look, our keeper's mad at his defenders.
And it hands it
Yeah.
in. Rafael
Keeper's mad at Malcolm Gladwell there in the right-hand corner. Yeah, watch this. Dana White gets furious here with Malcolm Gladwell. Bomani, are you intrigued?
I could have translated Rich Coast. Like, how come I never get the pop quizzes that I know the answers to?
Bobby, are you intrigued, Bobby?
Oh, see, I'm very intrigued. Are you kidding me? I mean, tonight is going to be the night that the U.S. is going to win and is going to qualify for the games, for the big games. USA. Even though they are 0-8-1, tonight is going to be the big night for Team USA, you know?
0-8-1 on the Rich Coast. whenever
That's
they're
right.
playing.
On Costa Rica ground, they are 0-8-1. But tonight they are going. That's going to be to all be changed. It's going to be 1-8-1.
Yeah, your prediction doesn't become more reassuring as you continually say 0-8-1.
On syndicated TV, Ellen.
What happened on Ellen?
Back here from the Philadelphia Eagles, please welcome magician John Dorenbos.
This guy again.
I love Ellen's show, and I love everything about your energy. Grab that pen. I'm going to throw this ball into the crowd, and what I want somebody to do is catch it. Oh, there you go. Cool. Stand up. Oh, stop right there. All I want you to do is tell me the feeling that you have when you watch Ellen.
Happy.
Boom, right there. Just write the word happy.
All righty.
Yes. Okay, stand up. How does Ellen make you feel when you watch this show and you see her?
Great.
Good. Right, great. We have happy, we have great. When you watch Ellen, how does she make you feel?
Excited
Excited it is. Perfect, that'll work. There's one thing I love about your show. On your show, you end it the same way every single time. You say, be kind to one another. Right, be kind to one another. Be kind to one another. Before we started, hold on. Before we started, I was on the plane, and I'm sitting here thinking to myself, why is it, Ellen, that I actually get so excited to be on your show? And you know what? I made a list myself. And I thought, man, I tell you what, if I make this list, and why don't you hold this out for me? Right here. I thought to myself, first of all, I get more excited than anybody to come on your show. And your show makes me feel great. And when I feel great, I am so happy, Ellen, that I watch you. And all I can think to myself is I, too, will be kind to one another. Ladies and gentlemen, this is one of the greatest people in the world.
I am happy and great and excited. This guy has done about a half hour of our show in total time running his clips where we don't have to work and we get paid for it. Bomani, are you intrigued?
And we still don't know his name. Like this time he wore a jersey with his name on it. I'm like, how many mall kiosks do you have to go to get one where they can make your jersey fast enough for you to get to the set on Allen?
Papi, are you intrigued?
Oh, see, I'm very intrigued. But listen, I'll be more impressed if he knows what play the other teams are going to run before they run it and tell it to his team. Right. That's the way you beat the other team, you know? That's the way you use your magic.
Yeah.
That's right.
What about that long snapper guy?
Why don't you get in the investment game?
Yeah. Why don't you go and find an envelope that tells you how to beat the Cowboys?
That's all the time we have for today. Thank you for watching.
The Right Time with Bomani Jones, ESPN Radio, every day, 4 to 7. Check it out. Thanks for watching.
Gracias. See you mañana.
Are you looking at porn? You get that for free?
Oh, you caught me again. Yeah. You caught me again.
Oklahoma and West Virginia go head-to-head in Morgantown this Saturday night. Huge Big 12 title implications are on the line.
72-yard run.
Coverage begins at 7 Eastern on ABC and on ESPN Radio.